signal now for when I'm needed. But when that light hits the sky, it's not just a call. It's a warning to them.
Yes, sir. Welcome to Beyond the Bat Signal. I'm your host, Dominic Unica. Join me as we dive into the depths of Batman's lore, dissecting the Rogues Gallery, and uncovering the stories of our iconic vigilante known as the Dark Knight. Beyond the Bat Signal is a proud member of the Batman Podcast Network, hosted by Batman on Film. Visit their website to see a list of shows that you can totally check out, including BOF's very own podcast, and they got a bunch like the Social Hour. They got Batman animation chapter by chapter, and I know they just did a big review show on Superman, so definitely check them out. And then they also got Peter Rivera's awesome. I love a couple of the shows that are on there, actually. The Italian Spider-Man Coalition, and Straight Outta Gotham, and also another friend of the show, Ryan Lauer. He's got the Batman Book Club. Also another banger that you'll just absolutely enjoy. So definitely check out Batman on Film for a list of their shows that you'll see on the Batman Podcast Network. Thank you very much for tuning in to today's episode, where we're going to be reviewing Batman The Long Halloween, The Last Halloween, issue number 8. Finally. It's been 2-3 month hiatus. I actually forgot where we left off, and I went through a move. Also have a little girl now in my life where, things are busy, and I cannot figure out which box I left issue number 7 in. But with that said, that's okay, because we're here to review Batman The Last Halloween, issue 8, titled Innocent. The writer on this is Jeph Loeb, the legend, and the artist, Becky Cloonan. I was going to say Clooney. Becky Cloonan. And then the colorist is, of course, the legendary Dave Stewart. We're going to get right into this. But before we begin, if you can you please, as it goes a long way, rate and review the show, as it really does help the show be seen, especially if you do it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you listen to podcasts. But especially on Apple and Spotify, it really does go a long way to allowing the show to be seen. And tell all your friends. Give it a show a listen. We've been doing some review shows with Batman Hush 2, and The Last Halloween. And every now and then we're diving deep, whether it's Batman video games. I got this itch to go back and play Arkham Shadow again. And, I also want to kind of replay all the other Arkham games. But, I love Arkham Shadow. Anyway, if you've played it, shoot me an email. Now's the other thing. So if you want to find me, you can shoot me an email at beyondthebatsignal@gmail.com, or you can reach out to X/Twitter, where it's Beyond Bat Signal, and you'll find me there. And I think that's about it. Let's get into Batman The Long Halloween, The Last Halloween, issue number 8, where I got cover A by, of course, I'm sticking to the Tim Sale theme here, and it's got Solomon Grundy right on the front, and this dude is not looking too pleased. And let me just say that I loved this issue. And, right off the bat, it will give you, and if you haven't, this is going to be full of spoilers, but if you have read it, tell me if I'm wrong, but did this not give you full noir vibes? This was the tone, and I think a lot of the artists have kind of just checked that box where it gives you that noir vibe. It complements Tim Sale in a lot of ways when it comes to the art. But the art that Becky Cloonan did, I thought she hit the nail on the head while not being Tim Sale, still giving that Long Halloween. It's in that world, and it completely belongs here. And this is, as far as I'm concerned, the best artist thus far. If you disagree or agree, let me know otherwise. Really curious to what you guys think, but it picks up pretty much where we have Batman showing up, and it looks like that they're at Arkham Asylum, many visits, and he's with Jim Gordon, and Batman's alone, and it's just them two. And one of the first questions Jim Gordon asks is, where's the Robin? And Batman's like, tonight's a 2-man job, and I needed him elsewhere. Kind of curious as to, because we don't really see Robin in this issue, unless I'm forgetting something, but and he's like, I needed him elsewhere. Don't know where this elsewhere was. But yeah, so we get to Arkham Asylum, and the person that they want to go see is the Penguin, Oswald Cobblepot. And it's Jim who actually wants to confront him. And one of the first questions that Batman asks him is, Jim, are you sure you can handle this? And he's just like, you seem to forget I was doing this long time before you came. And Batman's just like, okay, you know where to find me. And then there's that internal dialogue where it's like leaving him alone on Father's Day. And Jim Gordon confronts him, but not until we get on the next page it's pretty much 2 pages filled where Batman's just confronting Dr. Thorne. So and it's up to, I guess, suspicion, because it's like, the dates are obviously important. It's another holiday. Someone has been using these holidays to kind of shoot specific criminals, or freaks as they're called, and Batman like to say, all patients that are going to see this Thorne dude. And at first I was like, Rupert Thorne? No, has no relation, doesn't seem like it. But Batman confronts him, and it's like, you operate on both Catwoman and Poison Ivy leg wounds. I want to see their medical files. Give them to me. So through intimidation tactic. And Thorne's just like, those files are private. What are you going to do? Have my license taken away? You think I want to work in this cesspool? All because of your friend Dent. And then Batman's just like, Harvey? And it's no. So he's just like, I was Harvey's attending surgeon, and when the acid was thrown in his face, his escape, I took the blame. 2 lives were destroyed that night. And, there's something untrustworthy. Kind of seems a little sketch, in my opinion. But Batman receives the files. Both were shot with a .22 caliber handgun. Almost identical points of entry. One significant difference is what the Dr. Thorne pointed out. And it just seems like he knew. He's like, you should have listened to your boy Wonder the night you found Catwoman here. The clarity of truth. Ivy took the bullet from distance. And Batman's just like, you think Catwoman shot herself? And I can't remember what I thought, and I probably should listen, either A, find the issue 7, or B, listen to my previous episode of what happened. But if I'm not mistaken, I know Catwoman was shot in probably issue 1 or 2, and Ivy was just shot recently. So it's like, you think Catwoman shot herself? Why would she do that? And he's like, I don't ask questions, detective. You do. And Batman with a nice right hook. Like, why are all the victims being sent here? And I love that intimidation tactic. Kind of gives me the Dark Knight vibes, where Batman just laces Joker with a punch. The only difference is Joker's just like, you've got nothing to frighten me with. And however, on Thorne, he's obviously frightened. He's got a little bit of blood on his face. He's just like, I don't know. but make sure that there's someone who does, and I can tell you where. And then we got another page where you got Penguin. Well, this man is eating like a king. A lot of fish in his cell, and the first thing is Jim Gordon's confronting him, and that internal thought dialogue. Batman's just saying like, Gordon was the one who told me, and I love this like little touch, like, you know, with Jeph Loeb, like the guy, he's been on so many projects right now. Hush, I think he's doing something on Marvel, and then he's got this, and you know the way he ties in year one, like, you know, everyone knows year one, and it's so flawless. But he just ties it in where, in an internal dialogue, Batman's saying, like, Gordon once told me that he beat down a trained Marine, a crooked cop named Flass, and what a man will do when you come after his family. So you know that Gordon's got that mean streak to him, and he's obviously pissed off because this time they went after his kid and his wife and child, then moved away. So you know Gordon's absolutely livid. So you see Cobblepot eating like a king. This guy's got fish everywhere. It's a catastrophe. If you just look at the table, what a disaster. Guy needs 10 napkins. And Gordon's just like, I want to make this fair. So go ahead, pick it up. Puts the gun right in front of Cobblepot. And Penguin's just like, that's called entrapment. Pick it up with those fat, greasy flippers, or I swear you'll regret that you never did. Nobody talks to me like this, the Penguin said. And the first thing that Gordon does as soon as Penguin goes to pick it up is another right hook. Just boom. And gives the Penguin a nice shiner on the left side. He's like, you have no idea what you took from me. And Penguin's the one that says, I'll get even with you, Gordon. And Gordon's just like, listen, nothing's ever going to get us even. You kidnapped my son, broke my family, and you're going to tell me? And he's just like, who hired you? And it was revealed that the person that hired Penguin was Dent. Well, which Dent? Because right away, Gordon's like, Two-Face? Like, no, Harvey Dent was my friend. And he's like, no, Gilda Dent. We all know Gilda has a few screws loose. Like, you know, she's not all there. And she's obviously going through a lot. And then there's the next page where we have Two-Face. And it's got a nice close-up of him, the two of you. And you got like that one red eye where it looks absolutely livid. And then the other side of his face where it's like the blue eyes. And I don't know, it's a nice shot, nice panel. He's like, how did you find this place? And who does he have that's tied up? Well, it's none other than Calendar Man. So he's got Calendar Man tied up. He's like, listen, you're the original holiday killer, basically. Like, you're the one who kills on holidays. And then just goes, I've studied every inch of what's above us. You know I've lived up there for the better part of a year. What makes you think I gave any thought to this at all? And he's like, you've been playing at being Holiday. And Calendar Man's just like, I wasn't playing anyone. The Calendar Man was being forgotten. And I was the one who committed crimes on specific dates, long before any of you. There was only me, Julian Day. It's true. And then Dent's just like, any of us, so you came here to shoot me? And Julian Day's just like, no. So then why did you bring her along? That's what Dent asked. And Calendar Man just goes, that was her idea. She said that it had to be today, another holiday. Besides, she had the gun. Actually, guns. So he's using plural. And the she that she's referring to, or he's referring to, is Gilda Dent. And, you know, Gilda, the way she's drawn kind of freaks me out. It looks like she's like from, I wouldn't say from that movie Annabelle where it's like a horror film, but like, you know, take a look. And it's those big eyes and she looks like she's ready to kill. And it's freaky. But scary calm. I don't know how to describe it. I kind of want to show this panel, and maybe I will post it on social media so you guys know. Anyway, and Gilda's there, and she's like, "Oh, Harvey, I could watch you work all day." And then he just asks, "Why did you have one of these pistols, Miss Dent?" "You know why. You've always known why. It makes us a pair." So she's playing him, but she loves him. "And I need to talk to you. So talk." And she's like, "Privately." So he flips a coin. It's on the X side. And she just whispers, "We're going to have a baby." This woman says, "We're going to have a baby." And obviously she wants to reconnect with him. Is she telling the truth? It's hard to tell. But he's like, "That's not possible. I haven't been with you since Halloween." And then she's just like reminding him, "Remember all the troubles we were having? I had some eggs frozen, and we saved some of your... And I wanted to be sure that when I told you on this day, Daddy's Day..." And Two-Face is just like, "It's a lie." She's like, "It's a gift. You'll be such a wonderful..." And you can just see Solomon Grundy, the bodyguard, just getting upset. And he seems like he's growling. He's like, "The only thing my dad ever gave me was this coin. The only thing." And, there's been some stories, previous iterations, of bad, how Harvey grew up, bad relationship with his father. Look no further to Arkham Shadow. They really dive deep into that relationship between Harvey and his dad. And then there's a book, oh my gosh, and it's slipping my mind, At the Eyes of the Beholder. Am I getting that right? I can't remember. But it also explains the tumultuous relationship between Harvey and his dad. So then we're at the Falcone estate, basically. It's right near Wayne Manor, and Gordon's just like, "Look at this place. It's a miracle hasn't fallen down, because the Falcone estate looks like it's pretty worn down, looks half broken." And Batman's just like, "I don't believe in miracles." And years later, this is the thought dialogue that's going through Batman. Father, sister, and brother now all dead. So he's referring to Carmine, Sofia, and Alberto. And there's only Mario Falcone who's left. And then he just disappears, and then returning this October. Where did you go, Mario? Anyway, so Gordon's just like, "Why would Harvey live out here? He hated the Falcones." And Batman's just like, "What better place to rebuild an empire than on the ashes of your enemy?" And it is Two-Face we are looking for. So you go in, and like the whole vibe, just like it looks almost like a haunted house, which I love. The way this Falcone state looks as they enter, it's just like worn down, full of webs. It looks like the paint is just peeling right off. It's raining. Gordon's like, "I'm going to take the stairs." And Batman's just like, "You may run into Solomon Grundy. You do know that. He's loyal to Two-Face. He's like a guard dog." And Gordon, with no fears, just like, "I hope I do. I hope I get some payback for what he did to Detective Lopez." And Gordon just responds as well, saying, his whole place isn't very far from where Bruce Wayne lives, just down the road. There's an old story about the two families. I don't know if any of it's true or not, but on the night that Carmine Falcone showed up at Thomas Wayne's doorstep, he had been shot badly. If Wayne didn't help him, he would have bled out. And I love that little connective tissue from, I guess it's like the Long Halloween. It's beautiful. It's a nice little reminder. And, and if, for those of you that have watched the Batman with Pattinson, or, we all know the story where even like they seem like it's not like he saved his life, but he did help him, and they were kind of familiar. But anyway, going back to Long Halloween, there's the connective tissue, is that Carmine was bleeding out. Thomas Wayne saved his life because Thomas Wayne was a doctor. And Gordon's just like, Dr. Wayne took him in, sewed him up, saved his life. And then you have this creepy shot. It almost like with of an eye looking on. And Solomon Grundy's right behind the wall. He's like, he could have let Falcone die. And Batman's just saying, my father took an oath. He would have saved anyone. It's no different from Batman taking an oath. But anyway, flipping the page here. Man, I just love the vibe. So Solomon just kind of breaks through this wall, and he's just like, oh my God. And immediately things start to break down. And Solomon Grundy's just like, oh, Solomon Grundy. And then Gordon's like, a man? A monster? And Batman just says, Solomon, you know me. I am a friend. Because it seems like they have that established relationship. But again, Grundy's loyal to one guy, Two-Face. And Grundy just gives him Batman a palm to the face and knocks him into next week where he's bleeding. Born on a Monday, died on a Tuesday. And Batman has his hands up saying friend. And Grundy stops, and then all of a sudden you get the .22 caliber pistol. Comes out and nice, it's like black and red. Blam! Shoots Batman dead center on the crest. Gordon starts whipping out his pistol and boom, 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 boom. But who is it that took out the gun? It's never shown. It looks like there was one guy that was shot multiple times. So, don't know who it is. It's not revealed to be Two-Face. We don't know. But Grundy, obviously, things are starting to break down. They go through, it looks like one of the floors goes into like there's a ton of water, and Batman's just like, Gordon, looking for him, and Gordon's like, here. Batman throws his Batarang with a rope tied to it, and it's like, here, grab this. He's like, got it, but we'll never get out of here in time. And Batman's just like reassuring him, saying, yes, we will. And all you hear is, you found me. And Batman's eyes just kind of like widen, like he saw a ghost. Like, holy smokes. Up until that moment, Batman said, I did not know if he was alive or dead, referring to Two-Face. And it's like, that was your second mistake. I'm not who you should be after. And Gordon's just like, Batman, forget about me, take him. And Two-Face says, you're on the wrong side. Batman's internal thought dialogue is just like, he's worse than ever. It would have ended then and there. And all you hear is Gilda Dent screaming, Harvey, save me. I will always love. And Two-Face is like, Solomon, we have to. And Solomon Grundy got the assignment. Responds with, instead of a yes, he says, Solomon Grundy. So that's his yes. And Two-Face is just like, this isn't over. Do you hear me? This is not over. So he's obviously going to save Gilda Dent. The house pretty much collapses. Batman's hand rises from the ashes, saves Gordon, and I don't know who is that's asking it, but he's like, still don't believe in miracles. I'm assuming it's Gordon asking Batman, still don't believe in miracles. And then we have Mario Falcone tied up, it looks like in a cell at Gotham City, and it's revealed from Catwoman saying, I took a bullet for you, Mario. And Mario's just like coming out of his senses saying, Selina, how did you get in here? Don't you know? She said, cats can get anywhere. And we made a deal. So she's reminding Mario Falcone that we made a deal that never included kidnapping me and stealing from me. That was Poison Ivy's doing, although I do appreciate the $2 million advance. So obviously Catwoman's involved in this somehow, some way, where she's getting some money, a part of this. But I came to warn you. And unless you want to find out what that tiny bubble in this tube will do to your brain, you better keep your vow. And it's like, well, what's this vow? Like, what's this that's being hidden from all of us? And Mario's just like, Selina, like we know that Mario's alive, somehow, and all of a sudden it's like Selina's the one who's kind of behind this. Maybe, we have no idea how far in. And then there's a talking bubble, like, who are you talking to, Mario? And Mario's just like, with some scratches on his face, like, what the hell? And Mario turns around and he's just like, Mama, when did you get into town? How did you find me? When Louisa Falcone asks you a question, you answer her. Selina Kyle, he said. And that's Mario. You're in a locked cell, and this is from I guess his mom, and it's like, you're in a locked cell. Don't make me worry about you, Mario. You were always the smart one, not like your sister and your brother, just like your father. Unlucky. First deported and then sent away to that place for a little thing like a beat burning down the house. Now in jail. So all of a sudden, then these are your new lawyers. Have you out in no time? And the Falcone does not belong behind bars. You'll heal up and get strong. Then, on Halloween night, you are going to finish what you started. So it's kind of revealed like, hey, Mario has to do something that's going to come down to Halloween. And it's reminded, you're going to finish what you started. Make your father proud. God rest his soul. Take back Gotham City. This is not over. And we are left with a cliffhanger. And I love it. I have no idea where this is going. The shoe's going to drop. And I hope I'm not sure if there's going to be another delay. I kind of hope not. You know what? While I'm talking, and I'm going to search when the next release date is for Batman The Last Halloween. But in the meantime, thought that this issue was an absolute banger. I'm giving it a 9.5 with the story and with the art. I think the art just completely took it for me, to be honest. Like, it felt like such a noir. It was like a noir film in a book. And I kind of was like, you know what? I don't mind if Becky Cloonan draws the rest of the way. I have no clue who's up next. But, looking forward to it. And if I were to go favorite panel, let's see. Let's go through this, actually. There's quite a few. And I don't know what it would be. There wasn't anything that was just like, oh my God, like you're getting Jim Lee level. Like, it's not like that. However, using Ryan Lauer's philosophy of, if you were to look at a picture, take away any words and come up with a story, what would it be? And it's kind of hard, but I feel like if we're going to do favorite panel, I do like, actually, it's like a one-page spread where Batman and Gordon going up the stairs into the Falcone estate, and it's basically saying, like, listen, why would Dent be here? And asking the question, it's a miracle itself. It hasn't fallen. And Batman's just like, I don't believe in miracles. I thought that was just a cool page that you can describe. And it's like these two are having conversations. They're close. They know each other really well. That would be probably my favorite panel, favorite picture out of it all. I do like the involvement of Harvey Dent, Gilda. But then there's Mario Falcone. So, like, what the hell's going on here? I'm looking for the release date, and it seems like it's going to be August 27th. That's the scheduled date, so it doesn't look like it's going to be delayed, which, thank God. I do have the artist for the next issue. Oh, I love the next issue's cover by Tim Sale. Anyway, this is going to be from, so who's drawing it? Chris Samney with Dave Stewart obviously doing the coloring. Should be good. Looking forward to it. We're winding down, and I'm really curious what you guys think. I think that this is picking up. I still can't figure out where this is all going. Like, is it Catwoman that's on the board, Mario Falcone, Gilda Dent? I mean, those are the big guns, right? Like that. These are the people that I would assume are the main targets of who the Holiday Killer is. Or is it Julian Day himself? Like, he's the one who's worried about, like, listen, you guys are all the ones that are taking all my kills. I'm known as the Holiday Killer. But yeah, I thought that this was actually a fantastic issue. I gave it a 9.5. The coloring was phenomenal. The feeling of just feeling noir. It felt like it was taking place in fall. Just of how dark it felt and how dark it looked. I can't wait for the collected edition. I believe that that's getting released in November. Mark me down. I'm getting it. This has been top notch. Very curious what you guys thought about this. Or, if you're not picking it up and you're waiting for the collected issue, by all means, let me know. But this has been a lot of fun to read. I can't wait to just kind of revisit it. And I think it's going to read a lot better when it's collected and you're just seeing a continuous story. That's just me. But yeah, so with that being said, we're winding down. We got Batman Hush. I think that's going to be delayed, actually. It's not coming out in August. I think it's coming out in September, which means Jorge Jimenez, and I forget who's the writer for Batman #1. That's going to be pushed. But actually, Jorge Jimenez released what the new Batmobile is going to look like. Pretty sweet. Has some influence from, who is it? The Batman movie. And you can tell it's like that muscle car look. But the wheels, the tires, I'm kind of curious what you guys think. Not a fan. Kind of campy, even though it's a comic book. But I wish they would have kind of just left that. It's like that bat logo. And it seems like if it's going to be driving, well, the bat's not moving at all. So anyway, we are at 31 minutes. Holy smokes, I've been talking this long. Okay, so really curious what you guys think. Reach out. Shoot me an email. beyondthebatsignal@gmail.com. Give me your thoughts. Or if you'd like to see something covered, by all means, I'm so open to it. Or if you have any comments, questions, concerns, beyondthebatsignal@gmail.com, or reach out through X/Twitter. And that's about it. I've had a pleasure covering this. Looking forward to wrapping this up, and I'll also be sad because I've really enjoyed it. But yeah. Now, with that being said, this is Beyond the Bat Signal, and we are signing off. Peace.